we just started a special school. Not only to help my son, but also to help others like him. My name is Fara Zainal. I'm a mother of 3 kids. So my first child has autism, who's 21 years old, Ashraf. MIJ is a school for children with various diagnoses. We have autism, followed by GDD, global developmental delay, and we have Down syndrome, we have dyslexia, ADHD, as well as cerebral palsy. My son Ashraf was diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis. The tumor was at the back of the brain. So due to that, he regressed in his development. P1 he was doing well. He was passing all the exams with flying colours. And P3 is where we saw things began to change. He was being bullied. The group of boys threw a bucket of water on him, and then he crawled to class. He actually sat right behind. Then only we know that a teacher called him stupid. Towards the PSLE period, he had a lot of attack with all these mock tests and so on. That's where I start to think, do I want to sacrifice my job that I love and do something or create an institution whereby he feels safe, he feels accepted? At MIJ, we actually provide a few programs, starting from preparatory program, and we have student care. We also have work readiness adult program, as well as a bridging program. We have a few diagnoses within a classroom. So the first step we're going to do is we will have to know what are the profiling of every student. Then create a curriculum that caters to every single needs. If the child is not able to grasp the concept still, we have to go one step back. So our end goal is for the kids to be independent. If they can't even be employed, right, at least they can either fend for themselves, like bathe on their own, feed on their own, and so on. Because we understand how they are. If they are having tantrum, we are able to manage that. There's a lot of things that you have to do from scratch. If you can see, like, we have labels everywhere. Everything is through visual support because they need it. They are visual learners. So MIJ started as a weekend program. It's a program whereby we teach students civics and moral, how to cope with their emotions, their meltdown, how are they going to be integrated into society. After which, right, we realized that that element itself is not enough for these individuals. They have to go beyond that. They have to be taught like functional literacy, numeracy. If they go to a shop, they're able to use money to pay and to know, the change that it's going to get and so on. The most meaningful thing, right, is when you see the child improve. If a child used to have a lot of meltdown, right, and the moment the child is able to calm themselves down at the count of like maybe less than 10, or if the child is able to listen to instructions, or the fact that the child is able to take your hand, you will feel satisfaction and you feel that this is a meaningful job you have done. When Ashraf was first diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis, right, he had a lot of epilepsy attack, right? Because when I see my son shivering, eyes rolling, and then like screaming sometimes, wow, it's very painful. So a year later, when he was diagnosed with autism, that got me worse because he was my first child. So I think as a newly parent, right, you expect your first child to be typical. And back then, there wasn't an awareness about autism, so it was very hard for me to accept. And also, to learn about what is this autism all about. I decided to start to take courses. And when I start to learn, right, it really helped because that's how I knew that what was meltdown, how to manage meltdown, ways to manage meltdown. I learned to communicate with him and I learned to grow with him. And we go together, of course. So to be able to understand him, you need to go into his world. That's why Ashraf Café comes along. It's a training ground for our students who just graduated. Whatever they learned in the REC program, we link it to the cafe. For example, like table waiting, or even how do you speak to customers. So these are all being taught and applied in the cafe.
why we create Café, because we want it to create an awareness among the public that, hey, such students or such individuals can actually work. So the quote that inspires me is, if a child can't learn the way we teach, then maybe we should teach the way they learn. We do a lot of like role play, we have a lot of visual support. So these are the things that the child will be able to grasp and learn. So my advice to those who wants to pursue their passion, right? First and foremost, you need to have that intention. Having that intention, right, it helps. Because at any point of time, I'm feeling down, that I can't do anymore, I want to give up. When you have that intention, you tend to go back to intention. When you have failed before, you will learn more. When the parents pass, where would they be? So we want to have a home for these individuals so that they are able to again be in a safe haven. They can stay in that home, they can also work in their home, they can get guidance from the various job coaches or even therapies, whatever needs that they need in that particular home. That's our dream. Okay, if my life would be a book title, it will be The Unplanned Journey. I've never planned to have Ashraf as a special needs child. He has taught me a lot throughout that journey. He inspired me. Every phase that we went through, it was a great challenge, and every phase required me to learn. And that learning, it's beautiful because it makes me a person who I am today. I thank Ashraf, my son, a lot, and grateful to him because with him, we have MIJ, we have Ashraf Café. We are able to help him and others like him.